Hello, everybody. Welcome to Amazing Transformations. I am so excited to be here and hear this journey of Queen Aline. And let me just tell you a little bit about her. I'm going to read your bio if that's okay, and then I'll come and let you also introduce yourself. So, for those who don't know, everybody probably does who's watching, but she is a devoted single mom, fruit based vegan, and regenerative health coach dedicated to helping others heal naturally and awaken to their divine within. For over a decade, she's walked a powerful path using juice cleansing, fruit fasting or feasting, and recovery from harmful substances and eating disorders, guided by a deep surrender to God. With a heart centered, joyful approach, she shares the healing power of living foods to restore balance to mind, body, and spirit. She offers private coaching through her website, queenaline.com, and her private community, which she hosts with five other health coaches. It's called Raw Vegan VIP Healing. And I'm so excited to hear about that and for you to tell everybody where they can find you and all that good stuff. But to start with, I wanted to say that's one of the things that I love about you is your energy. You know, you can hear somebody online and you're just like, sometimes you're not sure if that's their, actual personality, but it's something about you. It just shines through that I could just tell that you were a nice person the first time I even heard
Oh.
and then now that I've talked to you also for a while, I can tell, that you are that person, but it's like, oh, good, I was right. You don't want to be wrong on that, right? Like, you hear these stories about influencers, and then off camera people see them, but everybody feels the same way about you. You're doing such great things and helping so many people in like a gentle, kind way, and really meeting people where they are. So I appreciate everything you do, and I'm thankful that you're here.
Oh, thank you so much, Jen. I want to give you a big hug. I love your energy too. You are such a
Grateful.
sweetheart. Big hug. Big hug to you and to your amazing community. Thank you, everybody who is coming on, either catching the live or the replay. I always love to come and share and connect with, amazing people like yourself who are doing the work, who are like putting yourselves out there, doing the interviews, getting the news out there. It's like, this is the good news, right? And we want to shout it from the rooftop once we've had our own experiences. And I mean, to come from, the darkness and the struggles and just like feeling so hopeless to being in this place of feeling so much better. I'm just so grateful for life. I'm so grateful for my friends and my family. And I totally get what you're saying about the influencers. It's so funny you said that. First of all, thank you for considering me an influencer. I don't really consider myself an
You
influencer.
influence me.
Well, we're all influencers, right? In some way, shape, or form, we're all here to inspire each other and share. And that's just what I've been doing. I'm like, it actually kind of started, well, it started with the going to rehab, is what I really started leaning into sharing. And then after that with my juice cleansing. So yeah, it's kind of like, it wasn't very popular back then, when I went vegan 11 years ago. It was not very but I think a
Mhm.
lot of us started sharing the movement, started sharing the news in a very brave way. And it just kind of has been picking up so much momentum. And I'm so happy to see more and more people embracing this lifestyle and not thinking it's so crazy, and actually like, being inspired by everything that we're doing. It's like, okay, like I saw her before and she was not doing good. And she seems to be better now. So it's like they put two and two together, and I'm like, it's the fruit. Just like eat more
Right.
fruit.
That's all it is. So simple. I think a lot of people, complicate it. Hi, Mariquita Solis, Vegan Empowerment Coaching. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for being here. She is awesome.
Ooh.
Another empowered female. And I just wanted to take it back. So I know that you've been through a lot, and for to be where you are now is just so amazing. And the things that you're doing and accomplishing, and just even from 11 years ago, let's just take it way back. Like, what actually got you into this? Is before the fruit based and everything. What led you to veganism itself? Like, what was the very beginning of all of this, like very tip of the iceberg of all the exploration?
Well, we're gonna have to rewind a little bit further than that, because the actual tip was when I was a kid. I remember being 9. I won't take you through my whole life there, but I remember if we really want to get
Sorry,
to
we're never going to
the
get to dinner, everybody. We're going
and
back.
then I was 11. No.
Right.
No, so but I remember being really young and starting to ask questions, at the dinner table, going like, is this, what's in my plate? Like, is this the same animal that's running around? Is this the same chicken? Is it the same cow? And as many others, I was told, like, shut up. Don't ask questions and just
Right.
eat what's on your plate.
That's what we
Be
eat, right?
That's just what we eat, right? And you better be grateful and not complain, So it was like that came through. But I developed a lot of eating disorders from a very young age as well. I believe it was a lot of different things, but I think the control of the food was a big part of it, right? It was like I was trying to take back control. And so, yeah, anorexia came in, bulimia came in, like 15 years old, all of this stuff. So my journey has been one of battle with food, right, on a whole. But then I moved to Belize, in my early 20s, and I was kind of like, quote unquote, normal with my food. I was able to eat. I wasn't having any symptoms of the eating disorder, just like food freedom. But then I started having digestive issues, and I was eating meat, like I was not vegetarian at that point. But then I started having a lot of digestive issues. So I remember not having gone to the bathroom for 5 days. Like, I remember this very clearly, like, oh my God, I didn't poop for 5 days, I was like, that can't be normal.
Right.
My stomach my stomach was really hard. I was in pain. I was like constantly constipated. And so really, poop is what started me on this journey. I needed to go to the bathroom, and I did a
I don't know
little
about you, but as fruitarians, I feel like we discuss that a lot. Whether
yes,
people are
definitely.
asking us or what, it's like we're always talking, you know what?
Exactly. But it's so important. Like, let's talk about what else is more important than getting the old waste out. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, I don't care what anything else is going on in the world. Like, if I'm not digesting properly, then nothing else matters, right? And so many people are suffering in silence. So I think it's great that we're opening those doors for these kinds of conversations that a lot of people are feeling uncomfortable with. So yeah, I just needed to go to the bathroom. I did a quick research, and I saw that meat took so much longer to digest. Boom, I was like, let me try this. So that was my beginning of my vegetarian journey. I was engaged at the time, and that caused a lot of problems in my relationship because we love to eat steak. He loved to cook for me. So all
Mhm.
these things. And I was not surrounded by any vegans by any means. There was no groups like this. There was no friends. Like, I was just doing it by myself. But yeah, so then it took me about a year to fully transition to what was then, I guess, vegetarianism. I was still eating
Mhm.
eggs and cheese, but yeah. And then after that, when I went to Thailand, is when I completely transitioned to, I would say, like, mostly vegan at that point. Was a friend of mine. She was a yoga teacher. And I remember she opened the fridge, and it was all like greens and a little bit of
Wow.
fruit, but it was all greens. And I was like, I remember asking her, like, where's your milk? Like, where's your milk? And she was like, I don't drink milk. I'm vegan. And I was like, what's vegan? Like, I had never even heard about it. And she was
That's
like,
how it
well,
was with me, for sure.
yeah.
Like, it's not like it's so like common in our life now, and
Yeah.
even I think you're right. I mean, it's been even less time for me, but you're right. It's more like people at least know what it is. They might have their own, whatever you want to call it around it, like their own myths about it, but vegan is definitely more common now. So that was interesting to hear that you didn't even know what it was either.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you went
And then
to vegetarian at that time, or then you learned what vegan was from her?
yeah, I learned about vegan, and it was like universe was just showing me things really, really quickly. I learned about Dr. Sabi. I started learning about raw foods. I discovered fully raw Christina. So it was just like quick, raw vegan already came through. And I was like, whoa, okay, raw vegan. Like, that makes sense to me, like bread, I don't know, rice, I don't know, tofu, like all these foods were like, it took me a while to, really let them go. But raw vegan was already coming in as messages, and I started juice cleansing as well pretty early on my journey.
Hmm.
Small juice cleanses, like 6 days, 10 days, things like that. And then it was when I did but I was struggling to go raw. And then it was 5 years ago, I did my first extended juice cleanse to remove mucoid plaque. I had a mentor at the time, and I jumped into the community, and I was like, what's mucoid plaque? Like, I think that's why I'm sick. I think that's why I'm always depressed, struggling with
Right.
anxiety. It's probably why I keep relapsing into drugs and alcohol and all these things. So I was like, okay, get the mucoid plaque out. What do I need to do? Sign me up. So I did. I was heading for a 40-day juice cleanse, and I ended up doing 113 days on my first extended juice cleanse because
Wow.
it kept coming out, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna keep on going until there's nothing left. So that juice cleanse changed my life completely, and that's when I started really wanting to share with others about this lifestyle and about juicing, and it just completely transformed me. Like, my anxiety went away, and I felt so much lighter. I felt so much like more like myself and deeply connected. Like, I felt like God was telling me, like, this is your path now. Because I had been living in Belize. I was working in a hotel, all these things. It was like, no, you're meant to help people. You're meant to, you know, do this. So that was like a very pivotal moment in my life. Yeah.
I love it. And a lot of this, like when you get into like, well, I guess let's talk for people who might be watching who don't know what is actually juice cleanse. That's where you're just having juice, but you're basically putting all of your nutrients as far as like, did you do greens and fruits, like a mixture? Is that what a lot of people do on juice cleanse?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So the purpose of a juice cleanse is to give the body a break from digesting.
Hmm.
Now, yeah, through the juices we are getting, it's a misconception too that we're removing all the fiber. There's still some fiber in the juices, but we are removing the like more insoluble fiber. The more,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? Like to that makes the body have to break it down. So we're giving the body a break. We're rehydrating the whole colon. We're rehydrating all of the body so that the old waste can get dislodged and come out. And this
Hmm.
mucoid plaque, I mean, it is no joke. Like, it is a thick, rubbery, you could hold it up. It looks like a giant snake.
Hmm.
And I mean, I've seen some, I mean, mine was not like dark, dark, but people who are struggling with cancer, with like deep chronic issues, it'll be black. It'll be like
Hmm.
black and hardened. And then it could vary from that color to green to brown. Sorry to describe,
Yeah, because I
but
mean,
it's
I think people see a little improvement, like from going standard American, they go vegan, they can see their digestion gets better. But then when I went from regular back and forth, like when I go raw vegan, that's when I really feel
mhm.
lighter. But then imagine if your digestion didn't even have to do all that work. I bet the
Yeah.
energy is crazy too. I've never actually done juice. I've done smoothies, which is not quite giving me the same elevation, but it's close to being another level.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, anything that you could do that's like all juices or smoothies or fruit, I've felt very similar effects to being on juice cleansing while being on all fruit. So maybe juicing is not, something that speaks to everybody, right? It does require time. It does require like quite a bit of discipline too. Like, I was in the kitchen like like on the days I was batching for 2 days. It was like I was in there for 4 or 5 hours. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it was a big endeavor, and maybe not everybody has that, as an option. So I would
Mhm,
say do all
mhm,
fruit and salads. We could still cleanse very deeply with, fruits during the day and then a nice big green salad in the evening, even following the principles of the mucusless diet healing system, incorporating, for somebody who's like, oh my gosh, what, all raw? No, don't have to do it all overnight. Like, get those
exactly.
sweet potatoes in, get those green beans in, get those, steamed zucchinis, carrots, veggie soups, lentil soups. Like, there's so many great, healthy, mucusless cooked foods, and I don't demonize them at all. I actually went back to eating a little bit of them too in my journey after being all raw for a long time. And it's all good. Like, we're all here having this experience of being human, and there's no such thing as perfection, and we're all striving to get to like that fruitarian ideal and raw vegan. But I have a 15-year-old kid, and sometimes the healthy thing to do is to sit and have a meal with her, and have her connect with me on that level.
Mhm.
I show her the way, she eats a lot of fruit and all that. But anyway, there's like, it's complex, right? The food. I mean, she's seen me juice cleanse so many times. I'm like, what is this doing to a young, impressionable child, trying to make her way into the world. So, I mean, she's learning great things. And at the same time, I sometimes have to
Absolutely.
get to that level.
Yes, totally. I think that's really important and good to know as a coach, that you can have those moments where you understand where people might want to get to, but also slow them down a little bit and help them appreciate the steps along their journey, because
Mhm.
it's not just black and white, do this or it's over. You can
Yeah.
actually move into it. Most of us who've been raw have been raw and then cooked and raw, and it really is just a journey of what your body is feeling its best. And it's like eventually your body talks to you. I
Mhm.
know you talked about getting, like, I feel like the cleaner you start to like become inside, you start to not want to reach for things that are harming you. And like that was one of the things that helped me. Like, I wouldn't say I haven't had any drinks, but like I used to think that's like how I would celebrate. And then when I realized that that's not celebrating, that's putting poison into my body, it
Mhm.
changed how you think. So I think learning about your body and how it works and the systems, even like now, your like processed food, not that I've never touched a condiment with processed food over the last 6 years, but the more I learned about it, the more I was conscious of that decision and what it was going to do to my body and wanting to make my digestion. And I think one of the biggest things is the way it spiritually, like Marakita said, it connects you to the spiritual side
Mhm.
of it. I don't think that's talked about enough in
Mhm.
the, especially when you start to go into like a higher, in my mind, even people who are whole food plant-based, but like really high raw, I feel like it just connects me. Like I'm even compassionate towards people and animals and nature. It's
Yeah.
just interesting how that all like translates. And I know you speak a lot about that, like you're just spiritually clearer.
Oh my gosh, this has helped me so much spiritually. And I think one of the mistakes too. Okay, I want to touch on a couple things. Okay, to come back to the juice cleanse real quick. If anybody's interested in juice cleansing, please reach out to me. I do have some more information. I don't want to get too much into the details, but I can share some
You're
more
the
info with
expert.
you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I have a protocol to share, and our community can support you as well in that. It's important to learn, the ins and outs. But yeah, fruits and veggies. Sorry, I didn't answer your question too, but like I did half fruit, half veggies during the juice cleanse. But my and then I did other ones after that where I did all fruit. So again, listening to the body is important. But yeah, I think the greens are definitely super important as well. But yeah, spiritually speaking, like I didn't even have a spiritual life before this lifestyle. I don't think. I didn't even believe in God. I didn't have any kind of spiritual practice. Maybe I was getting somewhat into yoga, somewhat into meditation. So I was starting, but I think I had already changed my diet around that time actually. But yeah, this really just elevates us so much, and connects us to ourself, like our own spirit. Spirituality is like connected to our own spirit and also to something greater. It's like I started really feeling like, whoa, I was saved. Something has been guiding me. Something, I can't explain what, but I'm surrendering to this force that I feel is in my life, that has given me grace, that has given me a second chance, a second, third, fourth, fifth chance. I'm like, okay, like I need to really take this seriously and not take my life for granted. I guess for me, my spirituality is just like gratitude and being as much as possible in the present moment, and not trying to um escape myself or escape my feelings. It's a very like I'm spiritual and I'm also very like grounded, and like, okay, let me feel everything. Cause sometimes we could do like bypassing too and just be like all in the third eye and in the
Yeah.
meditation and all that. But I'm like, no, I'm gonna like if I need to cry, I'm gonna cry. If I need to be angry, like I'm gonna be angry. I'm gonna feel whatever comes through. So I guess my spirituality is like raw authenticity is like my favorite word. Is like just
I love
being raw
that.
authentic. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever used, I thought I had every raw acronym. I've heard it in pun and everything I could, but I have not heard that one. That's amazing. Authentic.
No.
It's awesome.
Yes. I love it. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you haven't heard it before. You're totally authentic.
Thank you. Um, my cat
Yes.
is meowing. Let me get her under control here with her treats.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. I love it when we work from home, right?
It's okay. It's
That's what
perfect.
happens. So that is amazing. So now you've done can you tell us just a little bit so we don't get caught up and forget when you mention your community and your protocol and some of the things that people can reach out to you for?
Mhm.
Let's do that so that I don't start rambling with more questions and forget where what I wanted to get across here was to connect people to you because I think you're amazing. That's why I asked you to come on,
Aw.
and you said yes.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you and giving me this opportunity to share. So yeah, I have my own website as well. So I started coaching about 2 years ago. My website is queenaline.com. I offer private coaching through there. I have my protocol available, my juice cleanse protocol. And I also just locked arms with 5 amazing health coaches. I've always dreamed of starting an online community that was like filled with modules and protocols and videos and all of this, but it's a lot for one person to do that, especially like someone like me. Like I'm kind of, all over the place sometimes. Like I struggle to be at a computer and work, like just,
Totally.
do that kind of thing. So I have a free group called the RAWvolution. It has about 8,000 members in there, so that's a great place to come in and connect. And then I also got invited to admin in a larger group called Raw Vegan and Fruitarian Healing with my sis Paula. So that's how the community kind of started, because it was like a giant group. I was like when she asked me to join, I had like 200,000 people, and she really needed help in
Wow.
the
I'm
group
in
to
that group too. That's
yes.
amazing. I think
Such a
I mean, might be in both of those. Yeah, I'm in both of
yes,
those. And
yes,
I think community is so important, because we are new to, I know it's one of the things that has helped me, like first, being vegan, raw vegan, and then like online you can watch YouTube and things and you can comment, but it's like
yes.
better connection. You can actually go back and forth and have that interaction, and sometimes you don't have to ask the question. Someone else will ask it and you'll be able to read the comments. That's what I love about groups, because we all have those same questions in our head. I think when we start this, that now we would feel like, quote unquote, there are no stupid questions, but like sometimes you don't feel comfortable asking certain things and you need somebody like that you can DM, or like a guide like you in your group that you can feel is a safe space.
Absolutely. I think it's so important. I'm just sharing to my stories real quick.
No, that's
uh,
all right. We'll
yes,
definitely get this also shared out a lot after this. I know
yes.
we were kind of going back and forth whether we were gonna like still do it tonight, and that's why I'm sorry we didn't get the promo out
It's
earlier.
perfect. It went out. It went out. It's all perfect. But yeah, I think community is so important. I'm learning every single day from this community. I'm so grateful. I go through the comments as well, and I'm like, oh, what's this herb? Like I never heard about that, or what's
Right.
this? Like we're constantly learning, and I think it's such a great space. Like you said, we're all bringing information together to to grow and to evolve, and all from different parts of the world too. So like I love learning about Central American herbs and herbs from Africa and herbs from the Middle East, like a lot of things. Like I just got myself some blue lotus. I just discovered the blue lotus. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love it.
Right.
Um,
Like, what
so
is this? Right. Like, that's when you think you know everything in this lifestyle, or not think you know everything, but you think you've been in it for a while and you know it, and you see something new like that, and you go down that like rabbit
yeah.
hole of looking. It's like you discover certain things like, what? How did I not know about this plant? Like,
But it's true what you said about keeping it simple. I know we could get a lot overwhelmed. We could look at ChatGPT and we could look at Google and what am I supposed to do? And it's like, it could be really overwhelming. So, to anybody watching, like, just take it slow. Start by replacing one meal. I mean, depending, if you're dealing with something chronic, you may need to go a little bit more intensely in your detox. But if you're looking to transition, which can take years, it could take months, it could take years, start educating yourself. Read amazing books like the Mucusless Diet Healing System, Dr. Morse's Detox Miracle Source book. Those are like the two books that I recommend to everybody. Get in there, learn what the lymphatic system does, learn what your kidneys are doing, learn your body, you know, a little bit better, get to know yourself and get to know the functions so you could see, okay, oh, if I'm having hormonal issues, then it's connected to this part of my body and this could be supported. But at the end of the day, the solution is always the same. You know, like it's
Mhm.
coming off the meat, the chicken, the fish. Yes, fish is an animal. You know, people are like, they're like, oh, you're vegan. Oh, but you eat fish, right? And I'm like,
I get that all the time too. What
no,
is
I don't
that?
eat fish. I don't eat fish. Like that's an animal. And they're
Right.
like, oh, I don't eat meat. I just eat chicken. Don't chicken is an animal.
Chicken
So
is a meat. Yeah, we tend to like now know they're all under the same umbrella, but we were told. I even talk about that in the speaking of the books, the one that I wrote about my journey. It is like I thought grilled chicken was like the healthiest thing in the world for like
yeah.
20 years of my life at least. You know, I was like
Hmm.
we have so much misinformation out there about health and like digestion and what's good and what's bad. It's amazing. I think that you're coaching people so that they can kind of, what mistakes did we make? What, you know, can you teach somebody to skip them past all that? And then there's certain experiences because it can be overcomplicated. And I think having a guide is really, really important. So
Hmm.
I appreciate you, you know,
Thank
doing
you.
that. And definitely, I think you were going to say also you have a community now of the 5 coaches and you have your website, right?
Mhm.
And then, so can they find all of that on the website, all the information?
Yeah, so I actually need to update my website for the private community. But if you just message me, find me on Facebook, Aline Habib, or message me through my website, I could send you the link. But I've been sharing a lot about the community on my Facebook as well.
Mhm.
It's called Raw Vegan VIP. It's on School, so you could even find it through the School app if you're on
Mhm.
there. So that probably instead of putting the link, I could put the link as well. We could add the link later. It's a bit of a long link. So yeah, Raw Vegan VIP. And in there, we have 2 calls a week minimum. We're doing like a Q&A where we answer questions. And then we have a master class every single week on, you know, things like the transition diet, things like parasites,
Mhm.
juicing, you know, all of that. We do mindset work, and we also do, we offer meditation and yoga classes in there. We offer, my friend Luke, he does QRT, which is like a type of reprogramming because,
Mhm.
you know, everybody could say like, oh yeah, you know, let's go eat healthier. But at the root cause, there's a lot of trauma. There's a lot of nervous system issues that are Kitty. Aw.
She's, I put the treats down. She's still yelling for them. I don't think she can see very well. Come here, girl. Here you go. You like Queen Aline, right? You're trying to tell everybody how awesome she is. She's even in an uproar about it. Look, everyone's excited you're here. She just can't
Aw.
type to comment, so she decided to meow.
I love her
That's
too.
what she was saying in cat language. Mommy, I want a juice cleanse.
I can feel her. She wants a piece of fruit.
Now you're gonna have to specialize in cat cleansing.
Yeah.
Raw catarian. No, wait, that wouldn't work.
Catitarian.
A catitarian. I'm a catitarian. Oh man, they're amazing, and that's one of the reasons we love animals, and they have little personalities, and
Yeah.
that's why I don't eat them. Right?
Right.
I'd rather take care of
Exactly.
them, give them treats.
It just seems like such a shift, right? From there is what you were saying is so true. There's such a disconnect in our society between what we're eating on our plate and where it came from. And the what we're trying to do here is create that connection, create that heart connection, you know? Um, who was it that said, oh my God, I'm having a blank. Was it Paul McCartney? I think Paul McCartney who said, you know, if slaughterhouses had glass windows, everybody would be a
Yeah,
vegetarian because
absolutely.
because we
I
walk
never
around like
thought
this.
about it. Like honestly, like that's what I don't like. I guess I understand where people are, you know, that might be watching this or this might be brand new to them because it's like I was there too. I was mind blown. Like, wait, I never actually thought about where my food came from or what it was before it was food. And then now it's like my whole definition of food. I think that's one of the core things that has to change so you don't bounce in and out of this, whether you're raw vegan, whole food vegan, eating still transitional processed food, like, or eating all of it. You actually will always go back to eating meat if you don't have that core connection that that's no longer food. That's
Right.
that's a little being, that's not food any longer, right? We all had to make that change. And I love when you said you were so young, like when you had that first connection of it. I think a lot of kids, we sweep it under the rug, like, hey, that's not, no, that's food, this is to eat, this is to love. But when we really think about it, after all these connections are made, we're like, I already knew to do this, right? Like,
Yeah.
even when I was a kid. It's amazing.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, you give a child the choice. Like if they were to see what went into eating an animal, like you see a baby lamb or something slitting their throat. Sorry if this is graphic, but this is the reality, and blood coming out, and then you make them
First,
watch
our
that, and
first
you're like,
instinct is
do
not to
you
go eat that.
yeah, do you want this, or do you want this like beautiful banana or like apple
Right.
or mango, like that just got picked from the tree? Like, what's the kid gonna go for?
Right.
Instinctively, intuitively, we're very intuitive people, but we've been numbed, dumbed, and repressed through the water we're drinking, through the poisons they're putting into our body, through the medications. Like, I look around sometimes and I'm like, people are zombies. Like, I'm sorry, but like, and then when we have this light, this energy, they notice, they're like, oh my gosh, like, what's up with her? And I'm like, i'm just I'm just not like dead man walking. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
It's like, where do you get all that energy, right? Because you can tell your energy is so, up here. It's definitely like,
yeah.
you can tell what's going on, that you've kind of, really been through this journey and are at this, place where you're just very connected and grateful. And
Hmm.
I think that's amazing.
Not to say I don't have any bad days, like,
Right.
let me just put that out there. Like, I
Same.
have bad days too, I have days where I'm not feeling the most energized, I'm not feeling my best. And I think that's also important to say. Sometimes we share on social media our best side. We're always like, la la
Mhm.
la. But I do feel like I recently shared this too, because I'm going through like a healing journey with my nervous system too right now. And I'm having days where I'm like, man, I don't even wanna get out of bed, like, but I'm just allowing myself to rest
Mhm.
and relax, instead of, like, pushing myself or forcing
Pushing.
myself. And that's part of, like, the healing journey too. Like, if my body's calling for rest, that means I must be tired. So you don't always have to, like, be on the go, and I think that also allows you to harness that much more energy, especially women, especially us women. I'm not saying men don't need rest, but we, with our cycles, with, you know, the moon, and how emotional we could be, like, it's really important for us to be in touch with ourselves. And I think we do need more rest than we realize.
Mhm.
So I'm not one to be, I know some raw vegans are like, I only sleep 5 hours a night.
Not
I've
me.
never experienced that.
Me either. That never happened to me either.
Okay.
I wouldn't be very nice, but that's all I got, right?
I'm like, I
But
love to sleep.
I was thinking what you were saying, it's so true, because if we look at our body the way that now, I'm sure that you studied it, like within our cellular level, our body knows when to do these things, like as far as like, at certain times it's regenerating, and it's, digesting and cleansing and resting, and it's doing it anyway. But
Yeah.
then we try to like push it through and fight it, I think.
Hmm.
So I think you're right, that's such an important point to make. Like, sometimes maybe you just need a minute to, to relax and, you know watch your favorite movie or show, or
Yeah.
listen to music, whatever it is you do. Allow yourself that moment, because if that's what your body's asking for, it's probably, you'll be better for everybody if you do that. That's a really good point.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks
Honoring
for
ourselves.
reminding us of that.
My pleasure. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. We're very brainwashed. I think she was saying that when we were talking about, yeah, it's so many things out there that, it's definitely so true. And we don't realize it, but it's happening all the time, right?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I mean, we just like, I don't really watch TV. Sometimes I watch Netflix, but like, if we were to put on a TV show, like, I see the commercials and it's like pizza, burgers, medication, medication, food, medication, and I'm like,
The
wait,
perfect
like,
cycle.
are people not like realizing this? It's like, take a pill to get your penis up, take a pill for your heart, and then eat the burgers, eat the cheese, eat the pizza, and it's like,
That's
wait,
messing up
like,
your heart.
why are you not like putting two and two together and realizing what is happening? And I think liberating ourselves is starting to become aware of this system that's in place to keep us fat, sick, and nearly dead. They don't want us dead. They want us fat, sick, and nearly dead,
Mhm.
so that we're keeping on buying their stuff, just barely holding on and continuing to be consumers, because these are mega corporations that are talking. So, somebody like me, like, yeah, I have a little business and stuff like that, but I'm not a
How can we
multi-billionaire
compete with that if
profiting on
the
like,
guidelines are you've got to have meat? Like that's what they're telling people because
mhm.
of course they want you to buy the meat. I'm like, we're not part of the National Avocado Society of funding or something, right? Like nobody's paying me to say this, unfortunately.
Exactly.
Maybe
Nobody's
one day,
paying
right,
me.
Queen will get
I mean,
paid
I wish.
for being funded by the Fruit Association or something, right?
Hey, we should.
The
Why
fruit
don't we?
lobby.
Is there? We need to start something like
Let's
this.
start it, right? Like, what if we could raise enough money that we could like be bigger? That look, all of a sudden my channel gets like wiped out tonight, right? They're on to us. They're coming for us. These two ladies. I'm telling you, watch out if you guys want to join the National Fruit Association,
We're
nonprofit.
a real
We thought
danger to
we
society.
thought the direction we were going in was coaching, but no, we've got bigger things to do.
We
I
just
knew this
started
was
a
going to be a fun interview.
we just
But
started a coalition.
yes,
So we're recruiting.
right, we're taking over. Oh, there goes a fire truck. Look, I heard a fire engine coming. Right, they're coming to get me.
I think that's
But
a
so
celebratory horn.
I know that you're so like probably have went through different phases of this, but where are you right now? Like, can you take? I always like to ask this before the end of the thing because everybody wants to know what people eat, and like I
Yeah.
know we can't all eat the same. I would tell everyone that they're going to be different. They might need more food, more fats, more whatever this time in their journey, but just so we can satisfy everybody's craving for wanting to know what Queen Aline eats in a day.
Absolutely, sure. I'm happy to share. So, yeah, like you said, we go through different phases, and I've really been in a phase right now of listening to my body and also listening to my inner child. I'm doing a lot of inner child work these days, and having gone through so many different struggles and challenges with food, and I had gone through like I'm not gonna say what exactly, but I had gone through a plant medicine journey about 2 years ago that really helped me to like release a lot of these like I want to say labels. Like I had identified a lot with the raw vegan label, right? Like raw vegan queen, like that's me, like that's me. I'm never going to eat any more cooked foods in my life. And I was like very, very rigid on that. So all this to say, like I am eating a little bit of cooked foods. I do my best to stay mucusless. So I stick with a family of like, sweet potatoes and, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, veggies. I love making veggie soups. But I do stay like 95% fruit. I love to
Mhm.
eat my fruit. So like I usually fast in the rising. I'll do like lemon water, and then I'll break fast either with a fruit juice. Like I love watermelon juice. I love pineapple juice, or like I like pineapple and apple ginger combination. Those are like my go-to juices. I really feel invigorated when I start my day with juice or fruit. So usually my whole day will be fruit, and then some days are fully fruit. Like some days are all fruit. If I just want to do, 3-4 days on fruit, I'll go for it. If I want to have some salad in the evening, I will have a salad in the evening. So usually what will change typically is usually my dinner meal, but the rest of the time it's always fruit. And then the dinner meal will change. So like, let's say I get invited to like a dinner, out. If I'm doing all raw, I would eat salad over there. I'll usually find out if they have nice salads. Sometimes I bring my own food if I go out. This
Right.
is another hack that I have. Like I'll bring my guacamole, and then if they have a salad, I'll add my guacamole, or I'll bring like some seeds just to like add, because sometimes those salads are kind of sad, So like I'll add a
Yeah,
little
they
bit.
got the one strand of lettuce and two
Yeah.
little cucumber slices in there. Like that's
Yeah.
not a raw vegan salad.
Yeah. So if I definitely want to avoid temptation, I'll figure myself out. Or sometimes I'll eat even before, I'll have like a big a big watermelon portion or something like that. So depending. I'll also sometimes, if I'm eating cooked foods, like I'll have some grilled veggies when I go out. I'll find out some kind of like, veggie dish. Sometimes those Italian places could do a little bit of grilled veggies. But, I'm trying to avoid oils and salts. However, you know, I struggle with that a little bit. I'm struggling with that a
Yeah.
little bit to be like completely oil free, completely salt free. But that is my ideal. That is my goal, like to come off all the oils and salts because I know they slow me down. And, you know, I think sometimes when I get too high, and Dr. Morris talks about this and I really resonate with him, it's almost like this world kind of like brings me down, like not down, but like kind of how to say
I know what
I'm
you
like thinking out loud, like when I get on fruit, it's like I'm vibing so high and it's almost like I'm by myself, and I'm just like
mean.
out there and I'm like, whoa, like this is like it's a lot of energy to carry. So my dream ultimately is to live in a community, like physical community, where we're growing our own fruit or growing our own salads and all of that, and we're living there. And I think at that point, like I'll be able to like fully transition to that fruitarian lifestyle. But for
Mhm.
now, I am anchoring in a little bit more, grounding a little bit more with some root vegetables. And stuff like that. So yeah, I'll make like a veggie soup. Sometimes I make lentil soup. I love hummus too. Sometimes I have it raw. Sometimes I have it cooked. Like very simple meals. Like I don't know if that's exciting to everybody, but like carrots and
I love
hummus
it.
for me is like a meal. I love that. So I try to keep it as simple as possible, and some seeds, a little bit of hemp seed dressing, some pumpkin seed dressing, sesame seeds, things like that, but not that much. Like my body doesn't do that good with a lot of fats, like nuts, heavy nuts. Like I don't do that much cashews and walnuts, but a little bit is okay. Yeah.
Mhm. I like that. Yeah, I think it's like a lot of balance, and also like you said, I just talked with Sky about this, about cravings, and sometimes your body might be craving a little extra of the fat or whatever, and
Mhm,
it's important to listen to it and not be so regimented in our head with what we are supposed to be eating, because
yeah.
that's where I think we have disconnected so far from what our natural is. And like if we hadn't been
Mhm,
raised and programmed how we are, and given our microbiome everything, like you said, it would be a lot easier. Because really, like truly, once I learned the natural design, I do understand why fruit is the perfect food. Like
mhm.
technically, that's why if we were raised, maybe JJ of the jungle, I probably would only have eaten fruit and some leaves,
Yeah,
right? Because
yeah,
that's like what my digestion is built for. And I'm like, I
yeah,
don't understand how people dispute that. What I can dispute is that in this world, as humans, having kids, families, events, the life we've all grew up on, the same microbiome that was eating all the standard foods, like, and this world where like it's so easy to grab when we go out, it's like you have to dig through to find something that's not salt, oil, sugar, right? So yeah, it's like, that you have to tie all that together. And I think that's part of this journey. I call people newborns when they come into it and they learn all this, and they're like, you're all crazy. Like, if you touched a, cooked broccoli, but,
yeah.
it's like, once you kind of settle into it for a while, you realize that you have to, you flexible with yourself, not
Mhm,
only with others, and
mhm.
understand that sometimes striving for that perfection, I feel like, can be more harmful to your
Yes.
cortisol and everything than the actual food you might be thinking you're going off eating, like
Thank
mm,
you. Thank
yeah.
you for saying that. I've said that too. This is amazing. I 100% agree. 100% agree. Yeah.
We have to really, I didn't realize how you can become insulin resistant because of stress before the last couple of years, because it was always about the food. And then I started learning, reading about hormones and things, being like in the upper 40s, I'll say. Really upper, I'm at 48, right?
Really? No way. No way.
Yes, I'm gonna be 50 in 2 years. I was like, I'm gonna feel wise though. I'm gonna start embracing it. I'm gonna be like, you all have to listen to me now. I'm your elders. But
Definite.
no, I think it's so important to realize how everything connects together, and
Mhm,
not, food is the basis, is most important. I'll always say if you change your diet, but if you don't get your, mind in order and start to
mhm,
understand that we can't control the unknown, we can't control what we can't control, those type of things that, I always thought was kind of, oh, that's like, people like yoga and all that stuff, and now I'm like 2 years on, almost all fruit, and I'm becoming that person now. Like, you have to get your sunlight, and like I'm like almost as strict with that as what I eat, because I realize now how much it better it makes me feel to have it all together. And stress is like can change everything, and I know I've heard you talk about that too, like the struggles that you've had until you were able to like relax your mind.
Mhm. The mind is so important, and I think it's really I wanted to touch on this before actually when we were mentioning something spiritual, but I think there's a lot of people in this community who just think that they're gonna eat fruit and like they're healed, you know? And I've actually had a lot of traumatic experiences with them. I'll just like put it out there. I'm not gonna name any names, but like very big egos, very big narcissism, where it's like, geez, like where does this come, like you like we would think, oh, because they're eating a certain way, they are able to have difficult conversations, they're able to look at themselves, they're able to take responsibility. And it's like, no, they're not. They get very triggered easily, they get very upset at like tiny little things, projecting, turning things around, making you look like you're the crazy one when in fact they had something to apologize for. And I'm just like, I don't,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, my circle is so small right now. Like I've met a lot of them in person even, and it's just like, we have to do the shadow work. We got to go to therapy. We got to meditate. We got to like get down and dirty with ourselves. Like it's not
Mm-hmm.
just about eating the fruit. It's like, how comfortable are you sitting in the dark by yourself
Yeah.
without your
and
phone? Like that's
and
what I want to know, you know?
compassion, right? Like that's the thing. Like if we look at fruit and nature as the example, it doesn't. It's not rigid like that. It knows what it's supposed to do, and it moves in that flow.
Yeah.
And instead of getting more compassionate, like if you're moving further away from that compassion, when this whole thing is rooted in compassion, we have to remember that people are part of that too.
Mhm.
When we're
Yeah.
being kind to ourselves, it's just as important to be kind,
Mhm.
to others, and
Yeah.
kind of move away from those negative situations that aren't, if they're not going to serve you.
Mhm.
It's like there's a gentle, easy way to do that. And I think in our lives, we just, have to figure that out,
Yeah.
and just keep it in all in balance, especially if you're new to being vegan or raw vegan. Be patient with yourself, but
Yeah.
also give yourself what you deserve. Don't use it as a way to not, be uncomfortable, because we have to be uncomfortable to get, to a new level. But like also, just really, get in a community. That's all I can say. That really helps me. But the right
Mhm.
community and the right people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like communities that aren't so dogmatic, exactly, that won't like, get upset with you or tell you you're doing a bad thing if you're having a little bit of, cooked broccoli. Like you said, you want a community that embraces you, that understands the transition, that understands the difficulties of this path. It takes certain kinds of people to do that, and I think our community that we've built, I've aligned with really, really compassionate coaches. Like that was very important to me. I've met other people on this journey, coaches that were again like very mean, very condescending, very judgmental, and you don't want to work with people like that. Like it actually turns people away from this lifestyle. So we want to be as, you know, accepting and as welcoming, and remembering where we came from too. Like I remember where I came from. I remember how hard it was to come off of substances. It took me many, many years to give up, all the substances and the alcohol and the cigarettes. Like that was me just like a couple years ago, and I've
Hmm.
relapsed so many times. So it's the same, even with the food. Like I've opened doors to certain things that I never thought I would eat again. So it's like we can't be judgmental towards other people, because, and I think the more like love and compassion we have for ourselves, like you said, the more we could have it for others too. Yeah, we got to love our way to health, love our way there. We can't force our way to change. We have to really like elevate ourselves and do all these things that naturally elevate us, do the practices, eat the fruit, and bit by bit we start like elevating our frequency and elevating and elevating. And then at some point, those things start to repulse us. Like somebody smokes around me now, I'm like, well, like to me, like, you know, inside I'm like, oh my God, even perfume now, I can't even smell
Yes.
perfume. Like it's like my being has become so sensitive to these things that that I could see as toxins, you know. So at some point, that's a blessing and a curse, right? Living in this world, but
I know. I was just thinking, like, I remember going through these different, I guess, levels of consciousness, I always call it. And like, once
yeah,
I see or know, I can't unsee. And now it's like just something when I first went into raw vegan, like, I literally knew nothing. I didn't know about any of, I knew Fully Raw Christina. Probably that
mhm,
was the only person I had seen. But then
yeah,
everybody else I could find was like Dr. Barnard and, you know, and none of the people that were really, I guess like I didn't find a lot of raw vegans until I went re-raw, I guess
yeah,
we'll call it, back in 23, where I was like, I really got into like holistic health. I found out about natural hygiene and I just was like mesmerized by this whole thing. Like that was the missing piece. Like,
hmm,
why was there so much different? Like, you should do this, you should eat this, blah, 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 blah. And then when I found out about the digestive system and like, you know, frugivore and all this, I was
yeah,
like, that clicked for me, and that's where it like it stuck and made sense. But then I started hearing like about what the scented things do to you. So now where it would have just been really easy, like you said, to walk in and oh, this smells great, now I'm thinking, what is this doing to me? Right, like, you know, this candle that someone's burning, everybody's saying like around you, but it's like, so you went from like being eating regular to everybody, then you start to see it in a different way because okay, now I'm vegan, and then you like start learning about fruit and like why, you know, that they're good for you. So now it's like, oh, now I'm eating fruit, so I've now singled myself out further. I'm eating only fruits and salads, and then you go to a like even smaller thing where it's like, now I don't want to use any products that other people
yeah,
use. It's like
yeah,
you need a community basically that you can
yeah,
talk to people about this. Otherwise, you're, you know, you can live in the regular world, but it's so much easier when you know that other people are like-minded
mm,
and have been there too, but yet understand how it is to live in the
yeah.
real world, as we'll call it.
I can't wait for us to like. Have you ever thought about living in an actual community? Is this something that you have thought about too?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
That's come across. I always think I'm going to end up somewhere later in life, somewhere
yeah,
tropical,
yeah,
because, you know, with just lots of fruits readily available,
yeah.
warm all year round. It might not be anytime soon, but you never know. Things can happen, right? The universe moves quickly when it's ready for
Yeah,
something. So
exactly.
right now, I'll be happy to sit in my little background screen of all the fruit, right? And then I got my standards there in the kitchen, but I'll get to those tropical fruits I see. Like, I want to try this meme sapote
Oh,
so
yeah.
bad, this pudding looking fruit, and like
Mhm.
everybody's like, and I need to know whether I love or hate durian one day. So we'll see. But I
Lovely.
really enjoyed this conversation. I
Thank
know
you.
that you know, I've kept you an hour, so I don't want to overstep
Perfect.
my, you know, the 8 hour live stream that streamed all evening here on we'll just keep talking. I could because you have that energy. So I want to respect your time. And
You're
can
so
you
sweet.
just share, like, just to wrap it up, like maybe anything you want to cover that we didn't get to, anything that you want to promote that we can, you know, find you, connect with you, anything you want to say, and also just tell us how cool Vegan Knowledge JJ's. Oh no, that's not part of it. I'm just playing.
I will. Actually, you know what? I
Okay.
wanna grab my wait, I wanna grab something. One sec.
Okay.
How
Oh,
cool
that's
are
so
you?
cool. I love seeing someone holding my book. That is so sweet. Thank you. Oh,
Yes,
I
I
see. Look
love
at
your
this. We both have
book.
one. So
L
everybody go get this good book.
Love, love, love it. I'm actually due I'm making a review for you. I've been meaning to share, but I'm so proud of you for sharing this. This is what I'm gonna
Thank
promote
you.
today. Go out and get a copy of her book, From Sad to
I paid
Glam.
her to do this.
She did not.
I paid her all my avocados.
A box of bananas coming all the way to Canada. No, but like seriously,
Thank
like this
you.
takes a lot to write a book. I think it's so honorable and commendable to put your journey out there and to share so vulnerably everything that you're going through. That is truly like the work of a warrior, and you're helping so many people to see what's possible. You're amazing. You're down to earth. You are hilarious. I love getting to know
Thank
you better. I
you.
love your sense of humor. To me, like somebody who can make me laugh is like my best friend for life. You know what I mean? It's like
Oh, thank you. No
just
shortage of that, of the jokes around here. So
yeah, I have my dad is like a pro at puns and making jokes, and you and him have like a very
uh-oh,
similar
I'm sure we would get along really well. We could kick back and forth the puns, right? You're probably like, oh my goodness, I can't get away from them, right?
Sometimes I laugh so hard, and sometimes I just like stare at
You
him
got
and
the
I'm
eye
like
roll.
the eye roll like no, and then I
I
laugh
know
out.
that eye roll. I
I,
think my family probably feels the same exact way, right? Oh,
Yeah, but just find, this is so good. Like doing these kinds of interviews, if anybody's feeling lonely, if they're feeling like they don't have a support system around them, like connect with us. Come and do an interview with JJ, come and do an interview with me. I also have my YouTube channel, Queen Aline.
yeah,
So you're next. You're coming on my show and I'll be interviewing you because I want to know more about you. And I definitely would want to introduce you to our community as well. So
that
yes,
would be
like
awesome.
this is my new drug. Like honestly, I'm such an introvert, really. I'm actually really shy to come on camera. And so for me, like I get a high from these things, and I get like really excited.
Yeah,
So
we
we
can be
gotta
like
like
after work, all tired, and I do one of these, and I'm like, on high adrenaline till the rest of the night. I've saw you said that like the first time you were, I saw one of your lives. I think it was when you first started, maybe your podcast, or you started. I think you did live on Facebook is where I saw you, and you were talking about the Vegas nerve. And I remember you said, "Oh, I'm usually not even comfortable on camera," and I'm like, "That's unbelievable," because you just looked like this was your whole purpose, like that you were meant to be doing this.
oh, thank you so much. Thank you. It's like God is doing it for me, honestly. Like God told me to show up. I'm showing up. I am in full surrender to the Most High. I'm in full surrender to my mission. And I'm like, okay, if people want to hear my journey, like they think I'm interesting, they want to hear, like, I'll come on. So I always say yes to any opportunity I have to come and share. And scared or not, just show up with your knees shaking. And the more we do it, the more comfortable we get, right? The more confident we get, the more, the more we could speak with ease. So we work on our voice, we work on our personality, we work on so many things with this lifestyle. So I really appreciate you calling me forward. I actually went through a period of not doing interviews, and I went through a little dark night in my soul, like last winter. I'm here in Montreal. It was, we could talk about it another time, but yeah, like I'm here for my daughter, and I dream of the tropics and all that. So I always go through like this depression here in the winter time where I didn't want to see nobody, didn't want to talk to nobody. And just slowly I came out of that recently. So yeah, I'm really grateful for this opportunity to share
The
and be with
winter
you.
can really do that, right? Like it definitely is. Looks as light just fell over. So now we're talking about the fumbling on camera. I was just telling her I need some better equipment. I've got things like propped up with a lamp and good stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, it seems like whenever it's summertime, it's so much easier to just like I think it's and now that I know about the sunlight and the vitamins in it, it's like the vitamin D whatever's in the sunlight. I think it does open up make us feel a lot better. So I'm sorry
Yeah.
that you went through that. And
No.
but we're glad you are back now, stronger than ever, right? Well, you were talking about needing a little rest. Maybe you need a
Mhm.
little period like that to
Yeah.
come back even stronger.
Yeah. Thank you. So if anybody wants to book an interview, like we have a few months left.
Right. Catch her before the December, right?
Catch me before
Get through the season.
the beginning of
She's
the it's
seasonal.
like we have our reserves, and then we go through like, okay, like October, November, December, January, like I'm fine. February starts to hit. March, I'm already like depleted, like
Hmm.
depleted. And then it takes me some time to come back. But it's okay, everything, it's all part of the initiation and part of the sacrifices and choices we make as a parent, for our child. So yeah, I'm happy to do that for her.
That's
Yeah.
so sweet.
She loves it. She loves the winter here. She's a Caribbean baby too. She's half Belizean. And I'm like, let's go back to the beach, man. She's like, I love the
Right.
winter. I'm like, what? Oh, really?
I always wonder what that would like be like to be in like, because I'm so used to being here in Maryland where we get the like winter season and like Christmas and it's cold at that time. Like it would be so odd to be somewhere where it was just completely nice all the time. And be like it's Christmas, but it's like 90 degrees.
Hmm. We get used to it.
Yeah, I could get used to it pretty quickly, I bet.
I mean, it is a little weird, I won't lie, at the beginning, but yeah, get used to it. It's all good. But thank you so much, JJ. I've really appreciated this and so grateful for you. So amazing that everything you're doing. And I really hope to do this again with you very soon.
Definitely. And I've got all the links. I'm going to put them in the comments after the live stream because I like putting them there
Yeah.
because I always talk about this in my first days on YouTube. I couldn't figure out where these people were saying the description was. So just in case, I'm going to put them in the description and the comments. And I'm going to put her website, the link. I think you left me the link to your community, all the good stuff, how you can reach her, and I really appreciate you coming on. Thank you again for being here.
Oh, thank you so much, Angel, and everybody who joined us. Thank you for being here. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Mariquita. Thank you for being here, and
Yes.
thank you everybody watching who might not be commenting and those who are gonna watch after this since we were a little bit last minute, but we appreciate you being here. And definitely leave us a comment. I'll make sure I relay any messages or questions over to her. And thank you for sharing your amazing plants formation with us. Thank
Thank
you for
you.
joining, everyone.
We'll see you
Thanks,
soon.
Colleen.
Bye.